an online TV series in the science fiction drama genre for the production and distribution of Apple TV+. The series stars Jason Momoa in the lead role. The screenplay was written by Steven Knight and directed by Lawrence Franz. The first season of the series aired from November 1, 2019 in 8 episodes. The series is a fantasy drama series that shows the post-apocalyptic world. The virus has wiped out all of the people of the planet and left less than 2 million people. The survivors lost their sight due to the virus. Subscribe our YouTube channel to watch the rest of this video and more. They live in a dark world and talking about sight has become a taboo. In the series, we meet a tribe called Alkene whose leader is a person named Babavas. Babavas' wife gives birth to twin girls and boys they can see. This is the key to starting the story. After the birth of these twins, Babavas has to defend them against another tribe that has ruthless and ambitious queen. In this way, the story of the film revolves around the war and escape of these tribes. People consider having a sense of sight a sin and burn anyone who has a sense of sight alive. In C, people have adapted to a life without a sense of sight after centuries of practice and hard work. C series tries to make the way of life and struggles of these blind people normal for the audience so much that it forgets to go into the depth of its characters. The script for the series C was written by Steven Knight, someone who had previously written the screenplay for the popular series Peaky Blinders. Knight has been acclaimed for writing screenplays for Two Dirty Beautiful Things and Oriental Promises. In the series Witcher, Knight was able to create a mysterious and terrifying atmosphere, an atmosphere that is different and more fantasy than his previous works. Series C has not received much attention from critics. The film received a lowest score of 37 on Metacritic according to 20 critics. 10 critics gave the film a score below 40. 9 people gave scores between 40 and 60, and only 1% gave a score above 60. On the Rotten Tomatoes side, it received a score of 43 with 46 reviews. It also has a score of 7.7 on IMDb, which is a low score compared to a series like Witcher. Some are looking for similarities between the C series and Saramago's famous blindness novel. The difference between this series and Saramago's work is that the fantasy world has been created in this series, but in the novel blindness is still the real world. In the opinion of the writer and director, they have consciously put the name of C in front of the name of blindness. But the basic concept of this series can be found in the spiritual and mental complexity of blindness novel. In fact, in both stories, blindness and the sea, eyes symbolize the lost human soul, a spirit that has disappeared in a world based on capitalist competition and conflict. The blind men of both stories seek their own salvation and must attain in the absence of their soul or eyes. Some critics believe that the C series has a more limited space compared to the GOT series. The psychology of the characters in the story is also superficial and shallow. For this reason, it is not able to compete with the vast and complex world of GOT, and we should not expect this series to replace GOT. After the end of Game of Thrones, Witcher and C series were made to replace GOT series. But with the end of the first season of these two series, many believe that these ones cannot compare with the GOT. And for now, we have to wait and see the next season of these two series. Only at the end of this series can a more accurate judgment be made. The fight scenes in this series are great. All the abilities and limitations of a blind man have been taken into account in these struggles, and the brutal violence has been portrayed with great skill. But after watching this series, big questions arise in the minds of audience. For example, how did these blind people manage to make such deadly weapons? And how was he able to provide his house and clothes? In this series, the blind characters even have makeup that it is interesting in its kind.